Good evening. All right, so my name is Mike. I wanted to just go over some things that I think is going to happen tomorrow for the Apple event. There's an Apple event that's coming tomorrow around noonish if you're in the Midwest like I am. 10 a.m. Pacific time, I think, something like that. So there's a lot of speculation. We all know what it is going to be if you're in IT and you follow the Google and this and that and the Apple and the Microsoft and the Intel on the Twitters and the Facebook. They think, we think, everyone thinks. It's pretty much a non-event at this point. It's going to be they're going to announce the availability of the Apple Watch. I always tend to call it the iWatch because of years and years of Apple coming out with things like the iPhone and the iPad and the iMac. Oh wait, that was a long time ago. No, actually, that was a long time ago. Anyways, so I do think it's going to be cool. I will probably be one of those suckers that will go get one. I like the idea of it, just on the fitness things alone. I also like that it's an extension of iMessage. I think that's going to be good. A lot of good things for that. I'm not really impressed with the apps, the extensibility of apps. I don't really travel a lot, so the idea is cool. I like the idea that you can take your Apple Watch and be able to unlock your door if you're at a hotel, not even have to check in. That's cool. I don't really travel a lot, so those days aren't really what I do. So these days. But it's cool idea. I mean, that'll be cool when I'm on vacation. I like that. I think it's more useful from the standpoint of Apple Pay. I think that's cool. That's going to be cool. You know, but I don't know. This whole watch thing, Android. If you're into tech, even casually or professionally, you do know that Android watches have been out for quite a long time now. They haven't caught their market hasn't caught share at all. They just haven't been gaining traction. Maybe they will, but the Samsung Gear watch, that whole thing was a fiasco. That thing flopped. I remember when it came out, it was interesting. But I do also remember when it came out, there was a lot of returns, or reports of returns anyway. What do I know? I just know what I read on the internet, but it's fact, right? So, aside from that, we're in generation, I would argue, make an argument 3 and 4 for Android watches. They're cool. The best one out there on the market right now it came out several months ago, the Moto 360. I tend to fluctuate between Android and iOS due to my IT career. I like to flow between them. That's going to be changing soon, I think. I know, actually, I know. It's my phone, right? I should know what I'm having. Yeah, so having said that, though, like the Apple Watch, I think it's going to be the one that's going to stick. If people at all are interested, there's going to be 3 tiers: the gold, the stainless steel version, which is like the mid level, and then the sport one, which is just made of aluminum. I believe the steel and the aluminum are 2 different colors: shiny silver, very metallic, shiny, and then like a dull kind of space gray, I would call it if you're using Apple terms, or like a dark metallic. Metallic sheen to it. That's cool. If I do go in on one, it'll be probably the lower end one, like everybody else, to kind of test the waters. I don't think I'm going to be, I actually never am in a line at all. It's not what I do. I like to let the canaries go first. and let them sort it out and read some reviews and get some thought on it. I don't know if it's going to be a thing, a big thing. I mean, it's going to be a thing, but a big thing, like where everybody has to buy it. Apple behind something, they tend to make things. They haven't had any flops yet. The last big Apple announcement was the iPad. That changed the world. Whether you like it or not, it is. But it's kind of petering out a little bit. That market's finding itself in the same vein as a PC or a laptop. People just don't need them as much. You don't need to go out and buy the latest and greatest whatever like you do a phone. And most people don't buy a phone every 6 months or every year. Really every 2 years, really. That's just kind of the schedule market in the US here. Having said all that, though, the important thing to remember is that Android, Google's not going to give up. They're like Microsoft. They like to throw a lot of money, they like to throw a lot of engineering effort until they succeed. Microsoft, one thing you can't fault them, they always go back and they always go back to bat and try to swing harder. They try to hit that ball, and most of the time they don't get a home run. Most of the time they get a good solid base hit if they're lucky. Their mobile efforts kind of suck lately, but that's just them. But they don't give up. You gotta say what you will about Microsoft, they don't give up. Say what you will about Google, they don't give up. They pump a lot of money into it, into various efforts. But like I said, we're in Gen 2, 3. Like I haven't really. That's more of my opinion as I follow the news. I'm an IT professional. I eat, sleep, breathe, live technology. Up until recently, that kind of knowledge was pivotal in what I did every day. Nowadays, it's not so much. More of it's just what I've always been into. I've been in IT for about 10 years now. And it's as I do more of these, we'll find out. We'll learn more about each other and whatnot. But anyway, I like Apple and I like Microsoft and Google. I like the big guys, and just from a passing time, it's more entertainment than anything else at this point. But it is nice from an IT professional perspective to know what's coming down the line, how it's going to impact you and affect you in your day to day. Even though it doesn't impact me as much. It's just a habit, if anything else. I really like to follow along. And just like anybody else, just like any other American, you like to window shop. You like to go out and spend some time and surf the websites and this and that. I don't really buy all that much, but if I do see something, I like to follow it and track it and see if it has a space. I've really been leaning more toward mini PC things and this and that, but anyway, I think I'm getting off track. Let me rein it back in. We were talking about Apple and their event tomorrow. Like I said, like 3 or 4 times already. Like we're in generation 3 and 4 for Android wearables, smartwatches and whatnot. Motor 360 leads the pack. Mobile World Congress wrapped up this past week. It started last week around this time. There wasn't too many big explosive things that come out of it. There's some sharp-looking smartwatches from LG. They had an LTE model that was their homegrown, whatever the heck it is. Journalists out there, tech journals, were postulating that it was some kind of base with WebOS, which they snapped up. Long history there when you say the words WebOS. Rest in peace. It is what it is. Huawei, the Chinese manufacturer, they came out with a sharp-looking device. I don't remember reading anything that caught anybody's particular eye or fancy for Samsung. They're kind of hum-ho, the LG one got some props. They're on the other end of the spectrum. The LTE model got made fun of because it's just monstrously huge. I read on ours. I saw the pictures. The thing's huge. Oh man. I think there's a finite source for these guys. Also earlier in the week, Pebble. They did a couple Kickstarters. I think they did two. I think one was this Pebble Steel, but they're a known thing. They're a known quantity, but they're also cross-platform. So if you want something that's going to be cross-platform, I don't know if they're Kickstarter. I'm sure it still is. You can go double down on that if you want to. Funny joke about WebOS and doubling down doesn't really work, especially if you start with HP. Aside from that, outside of the Apple Watch, that's pretty much the only guaranteed thing that's going to happen tomorrow. It'll be really interesting to do a post-event analysis and really weigh where it's going to go and where it is. I'd venture out to guess that there's going to be at least two other things, maybe. I don't know anything other than anybody else. Just like me, I like to. It's fun. It's fun to think what's going to happen or whatever. I'm sure, like most folks out there, if you're watching this or if you have watched this, podcasting is where I get my main source of. I like to find my entertainment. Leo Laporte and Jupiter Broadcasting, Chris Fisher runs a show network over there in the Pacific Northwest. Very entertaining. If you're into the Linux side of the house and you want to hear a good, solid opinion, shout out to those guys. Love what they do. I followed along with them for years, as well as Leo. Probably about as long as I've been in IT. Not Jupiter Broadcasting. I always want to say Juniper. I think that's a failing of being an engineer. I always think of that first instead of the planet Jupiter. I don't know why, but the brain does. But it's Jupiter Broadcasting. There's some good, solid folks. There's a lot of knowledge out there that you can learn just from watching the Tech Snap. Just watch that. If you don't know anything about tech, just watch it. You don't know you might not know a quarter of what they say, but stick with it. Pay attention, and Wikipedia the crap out of that stuff, and you'll learn. But it's just good entertaining, good entertainment. Boy, all right. Let's see where we're at. Mumbling. And I've never done this before, so this is cool. But I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that, Mom, hi. Hi, Mom. Okay. So there was a couple rumors out there about there being a potential MacBook Air Retina, maybe new. It's time for a refresh for that thing. That guy's been out there for a long time hanging out with no quote unquote Retina, Apple marketing buzz term. They are going to refresh it. I read an article maybe within the last week and a half or so. There's two. There's like one 3 or 4 weeks ago saying that it was going to some render. I don't know if it was a renderer. I can't remember, but it was the USB Type-C was going to be the only connector on it for your. Apple loves the dongles. Hang off another this or that off of it, and also to power it. But also in that, they also said that they was going to have a 3.5 inch on the other side for like your headphones. I don't know if that's true or not. We won't know until it's true. I don't know. The MacBook Air, when it came out a long time ago, it had very limited ports, but Apple's known to do that. But even to go down to just one, like that's your power and your data. I don't know. Like that's iPhone, iPad territory, and I don't. If anybody's gonna do it and get away with it, it'd be Apple. I don't think it is, but it's possible, but I don't think so. I think it's gonna be more pedestrian when they do announce that. So that was one rumor thing that I read. The other one that I read was just gonna be just the regular 13-inch and the regular 11-inch. With the upgraded Broadwell processors, I believe. And with Broadwell, you can do fanless, so you won't have the heat and all the other junk that comes with that stuff. That'll be interesting if that comes around the bend. It should be interesting. It's gonna be a looker, but the longer that Apple lets that guy hang out there without innovating it, or what Apple does, what everybody looks for Apple for the next big pop, the next big thing, it's gonna get killed. Not in market share per se, but in mind share. I would say I would make that argument. Dell, a while ago, in tech world anyway, like a month or two ago, around the corner of the new year, Dell XPS 13, that captured a lot of attention. That was a big breakout for Dell, where they could finally, words were being tossed around that were backed up. That MacBook Air killer, type of things of that. I don't know. It's you know what, when you go online and it's like religion. You can't get too involved in the naming this or that is a killer or not a killer or whatever. It doesn't really matter. What matters is it cool? Can it fit with what you want or what you use? Is it pushing the boundary forward for whatever platform or service it's on or company? Dell XPS 13, this is something that is pushing the boundary forward. They take a 13-inch screen, shoehorn it into an 11-inch size, and well, bam, you have an ultra portable that really is ultra portable. That 2 flavors, full HD, non-touchscreen, long battery life, and then Ultra HD or not Ultra HD, quarter H. I don't know, whatever. I can't remember I barely remember if it's above 1080p or not, whatever, or if it's like what the resolution is. I mean, I do, but I don't. I'm lazy mentally. I don't care. It's not something I'm going to get, so I don't care to know the details, the ins and outs of it, or whatever. It's not something I'm going to get. When it's something I'm going to get, I'm going to put my money on, then I care. I pay attention. Otherwise, it's just a passing thing, like most folks. I'm not gonna debate facts and figures and this and that over something that I'm not gonna buy. Like most folks, It doesn't impact me at the end of the day. But it is cool. It's one of those things that got my attention. It got my attention from the standpoint of what I've been looking forward to, and I've been following along for like the last 3 Intel generations, starting with Ivy Bridge, and then Haswell, and now Broadwell. The Broadwell is the one that has to pop up, but that's the XPS 12.5. I want to see them do something, what they're doing with the XPS 13. I want to see them do that with the 12. I don't know. I'm just drawn to that. I like that form factor a lot for 2-in-1. I did get a Dell Inspiron 11 3147. I threw an SSD in there. Haven't upgraded the RAM. Haven't needed to yet. I broke. My luck. Sent it in to Micro Center out here in the Midwest. That's our Fry's. Fry's is better, but Micro Center is better than Best Buy or the ship that sank known as Radio Shack. In any case, that was cool. So meandering back to the main Apple thing, this is just a conversation. It's just a flow. This is just my thoughts on the thing coming up tomorrow. So. They're gonna probably most likely update or announce an update to the MacBook Air, and that's probably going to be available immediately. Usually, when that happens, there's a news story that comes out here or there that says XYZ Apple, this product is sold out. Usually get that within like the last week. I haven't seen anything. I haven't looked for it. That's a definite clear sign that they're going to replace that particular product for sure. But having said that, the other thing that folks think, and these are like more wild cards out there, would be either one of 2 things. As I move through the list here mentally, I didn't make any notes or anything. I probably should have, but this is live and it's the first time, so it's second time I did a Hello World, like any good IT dev or pro should do a little Hello World. And then you pop it out there and make sure it works, make sure you know what you're dealing with, kind of. Anyway, terrible humor. the other two would be an iPad Pro. That's one that's one that has not been usually like Apple rumors that kind of spin around and around. Those kind of come like the ones that you know aren't going to be there for sure are going to be the ones that are more recent. That one's one that I've been following that hasn't really popped up. Just recently, it's popped up on my news feed, so I don't think that's going to be a thing. That's a whole other discussion, really, on iPad, like a 12-inch iPad Pro, like with a keyboard. Paul Thurrott at Thurrott.com wrote like a what if post. Like this could be a good thing, like if it's like a what if. Even though he's a Microsoft guy, Microsoft fan, I am too. I tend to agree with him on, there's like a couple boxes that it's got to check, whatever, before that's a thing. It could be, who knows, but it's been around here and there. It kind of lives and dies by the news cycle. But the other thing I think is more likely than an iPad Pro would be an Apple TV refresh. The last one that came out was spring 2012. So it's kind of getting long in the tooth. That's okay though. The Apple TV is kind of like one of those things like where they'll just drop the ball on it and they don't care. They don't have to care because it does what it does. So unless there's been a couple things that make me think it's going to be an Apple TV, and I say that because recently they've talked about it being more of a the home automation, home tech kind of hub, like Apple's version of that. That's got some weight to it, but the other thing that's got some weight to it that's been around for a long time is like, one, it needs a refresh, or it's due for it anyway. If anything's due for it, that would be. And two, because it needs a refresh, people have been asking for it for a long time. Maybe not asking for it, but not demanding it, but they would be like, well, with Apple you don't demand. You look at your Apple device and you say, gosh, it really would be nice if I had copy and paste, and then it happened. Or, gosh, it would be really nice if I had an app store, and it happened. Gosh, it would be really nice if I could modify this a little bit more. Maybe have a different keyboard, and it happened. These things happen, and you look at your Apple device and you say, gosh, it would be really nice if I could do this or that. So if I look at my Apple TV, I would say, gosh, it would be really nice if I had an app store. That would be nice. They could single-handedly break open the gaming market. Just off-topic, gaming market alone, they could single-handedly undercut the PS4 and the Xbox One on the indie game market. Maybe that's kind of a reach. Maybe I'm not really a gaming guy. I like to play the occasional game. I used to be back in the day before I had kids and this and that. But aside from that, they had the next level would be gaming, would be casual gaming. Nobody's done casual gaming service more than Apple and iOS and iPad. Certainly Google and Android too. Certainly wouldn't want to not mention them. They are. But the casual gaming market with a handheld device for several years now, it's been established. That gaming market has been locked down pretty solidly. But to say that you could put something like an Apple TV and have an app store or a gaming market, just as like a smaller little tiny corner of the market for gaming, I would think the casual. I don't know how big. That's a good question. I wonder if anybody out there knows how big the casual gaming market is compared to the hardcore gamer, macho hardcore gamer. Got to be a hardcore gamer. And don't get me wrong. I'm waiting for the division. And then it might be worth it for me to go out and put together a new PC or whatever. But I think Ubisoft might screw that up. They might, to be frank, they might F it up. They might screw the pooch on that one. I don't have any hope. I tried the Watch Dogs on the PS3. Again, I'm a dad. I don't have time to game for hours and hours. God bless you. If you have time out there and you make money, I'm impressed. That's awesome. If you have time and you play the latest Call of Duty, you play the latest Battlefield, whatever, bro shooter, good for you. That's awesome. It's all entertainment. You really can't judge somebody else's entertainment versus somebody else's. I'm not. It's just not what I do. It's not what I have time for. I wish I had more time for it. I wish I could get back into it. I wish I could have the same excitement that I had for when I had for SOCOM, way back in the day. You know, I feel like grandpa here, but PS2 era with the stupid, ridiculously dumb typical Sony. You got to go buy an Ethernet adapter just to connect it to the damn internet, whatever. But it was fun, you know. That was back in the youth, when I had youth. I would play and game on that for hours and hours and hours and hours. That was fun. Do the clan and do the team matches. Anyway, Apple TV, App Store maybe. At least give me something to where I can delete or get rid of these endless editions. They've been going crazy with the editions. Crazy. A little trick: if you go into general settings. Under the parental features, you can hide that crap, the stuff that you don't watch, the stuff that you don't need. I don't need, I don't know, whatever the WWE or, it's not something but at the same time, I don't need Fox, I don't need, whatever, I don't need 90% of that junk, just for me to hit an extra 3, wear out my thumb, God forbid, I should wear out my thumb over the stupid thing that doesn't even exist on the electrons on the devil box. You know, aside from that, what was the other thing? As I'm talking here, I'm remembering the third thing for the Apple TV. Oh, HBO Go. That got announced that it was going to be coming later this spring. Actually, I got my handy dandy Ars Technica open. I love Ars. I've followed Ars for a long time. Excuse me. Oh, this is fun. Watching somebody click and comment. Comment is what you would care about in HBO now. Okay, so this per month, this spring. Sounds vague. It sounds like April it's gonna happen. I would be surprised if what would be really cool, HBO Go, so this is the thing, this is kind of a game changer from the standpoint of, if you wanted HBO, if you wanted it legally, there's a famous oatmeal comic that was out there that said, hey, I want to watch Game of Thrones, how can I get it legally? And then they went through all the options. You either have to wait a long time to buy the physical media, DVD or Blu-ray, or hope and pray that comes to Amazon, your favorite streaming, Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or whatever. Never would come to Hulu, but or you pirate it, the illegal thing, the thing that there is no barrier. There's just a VPN. If you're smart, you have a VPN. If you have a basic understanding of how to click next on Windows, you download your favorite BitTorrent, and you go to town. You install that guy, and then you go to your favorite Kick-Ass Torrents or whatever. Excuse me, Family Show, not really, or the Pirate Bay, up until recently Pirate Bay, or whatever. I don't know, Demonoid or whatever. There's like a million out there. Or you just put it into Google. You don't have any fan or any affiliation or any loyalty to any of them. You just click on your favorite first link that you find. You hope and pray that it doesn't have any viruses or whatever, because hopefully you're smart and your browser's got a crap ton of ad blocking in it, so you can't, or flash block, so you're not getting third party bullshit. Excuse me. That was First Blood for the cursing. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that was second or third blood. Bullshit ads that come up and pop up and infect your machine or whatever. And hopefully you have good software that's blocking it. Anyway, you fire that in, then you pop in Game of Thrones, most pirated show, and then boom, you're off to the races. That HBO Now, that's going to curb a lot of that, even at $15 per month. That's going to be interesting. But it was put out Apple launch partner. That's big. That makes me think, that's like the other thing that makes me think that Apple TV is going to be something with Apple TV is going to be announced tomorrow. I really do think that Apple TV is going to be either refreshed. It's going to be maybe a yawn refresh, maybe, or maybe there's going to be something substantial other than HBO Go. If it is, it's going to be mentioned. It's going to be mentioned either if it's major or minor. It's going to be mentioned for sure. April, I guess, and I'm reading the subheadline, April. But still, you got iWatch. But the home automation thing, I don't know. But if anybody's going to do it right, it's going to be Apple. Google bought Nest for a lot of money. I have a brother-in-law that has a Nest, and he got it as a gift, and it works very well for him. Makes me interesting, but I'm currently on a more of an anti-Google kick of late. I don't. There's a lot in that, but I just don't. No thanks. No thanks. But that's neither here nor there. So, what do we got? We got Apple Watch coming tomorrow. We got maybe a big maybe on the well, not a maybe. They're going to announce a MacBook Air. Now that I remember reading it, at least the hardware, they're going to announce it. Whether it's going to have that USB-C connector, I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. And then the Apple Watch, or I'm sorry, Apple TV. It's kind of late here. I get up early. I have kids. Who doesn't? So yeah, we'll find out what happens. Maybe we'll do this tomorrow around this time, and we'll see what happens. We'll kick around things. I wonder if there's something crazy that Apple would announce. They've acquired Beats, but I don't think that's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be a thing yet. But you know what? I think that they got it a while ago. So 8.2. I mean, it was iOS 8.2. I think they might announce that. That's going to have the Apple Watch integration, all the cool stuff you can do. They're definitely going to have first tier status given to like a few apps that like make the Apple Watch what they think the Apple Watch is supposed to be and do for design. We'll see. I just like it from the communication standpoint, but mainly from the fitness standpoint, what it can do, what it can read, and whatnot. There's a whole bunch of other stuff like that, but the heart of it is as I get closer and closer, I usually try to maintain at least a stone's throw away from the platform, not get too involved in it, but as the years march on and I get a little bit more lazy, iOS seems like that's where I'm at most of the time. I'm not happy with it, but nothing's perfect, but it works for what I need day to day. I typically jailbreak one or two of them, at least one device, where allowed, where I can afford to jailbreak. All right, maybe we'll do a Mobile World Congress wrap up tomorrow, and we'll go from there. This is the first time. There's Mike. Screen name is Sir Mike. Tell me what you think. I'm on the Twitters. Sofa King Jewish. That is what I am. I love my faith. Love my people. Tell me what you think. I have a beard. Beard is epic. All right. Sofa King Jewish. Tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. Peace.